Ooh. I want to see the shell. There we go.
You want to see your little
dragon.
pretty face.
Oh, that's a pretty dragon shell.
No face or... Yeah, I mean, there's a whole dragon bundle. Have you not already bought the dragon bundle?
Well, that isn't... No, that's Chinese dragon stuff. That's not really dragon stuff.
No, the question is, have you dragged yourself into Iron Banner this week so that you can go and get, on your Warlock, that dragon helmet?
No.
You know he hasn't.
Disappointed.
No, it's not a hunter. That totally should have been a hunter helmet. And no. And it's not even Iron Banner. He said it was Trials. Are you sure?
Didn't I just say Trials?
You said Iron Banner.
Damn it.
You were thinking Trials, but your mouth said Iron Banner because it's been pre-programmed.
It's pre-programmed. It's inherent.
Have you played Iron Banner this week? That's his default.
Yeah.
Well, extra Trials link or whatever will be up next week.
Oh, have you played Iron Banner this week? No, I meant to say Trials. Have you played Iron Banner this week? No, I meant to say, have you done the raid? Oh man. Okay. It looks like the stream is up and running, as far as I can tell. So let's just get on with it.
I can hear you on your stream, and I can hear me on your stream. So I'm assuming other people will hear both of us on our stream.
Can you hear me on the stream?
No, and that's intentional.
Oh, well.
Yes, I can. It's really nice because I can hear the podcast in the round. If I unmute it, then I can just hear us back and forth.
Back and forth.
So welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter.
Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast. Dedicated in bringing you all the latest information, news, and opinions. This is the best show for new and veteran Guardians alike, where we share tips, tricks, and tools to help you succeed and enjoy playing even more. So with all that said, let me hand you over to your hosts, the Triumph Hunting Titan Nitedemon, the pink-panted pansy Peroty, and your Hunter Master Ranger, Mr. No One Respawns in Real Life!
Oh, you were playing Gambit with Noble? Without me? I'm hurt and offended.
And Pan. Both without you.
And, well, I mean, we can set up a 4-team. I ain't got nothing to do except sit here and be beautiful.
You know, you do have a show to get to, not playing Gambit. You could play Gambit in the background, but you do have a show to do with us.
I do.
I mean, yeah.
I don't have anything here to play Gambit with. It's all downstairs, so... I guess we'll just have to do the show instead. We'll have to talk about what's happening this week in Destiny for the 8th of 2 for 2024.
We will. Is there lots of stuff happening?
No.
Well, Game to Give broke a bunch of records because, of course, it did. We're getting weapon refreshes in Trials. Also, Iron Banner Trials and Nightfall Trials. We're also getting additional Iron Banner dates, as expected, as hoped by Mr. Nitedemon. A weekly featured Bright Dust drop. So, also, if you have not seen it this week, which I don't know if it'll be there by the time the show goes out, but go to the Eververse store, upper right-hand corner, main page. You'll get free 880 Bright Dust. Go claim that. And your Armor Synthesis Bounty refresh is happening soon. So if you haven't done your Armor Synthesis, go do that now, because then you'll get a fresh batch of 10 of them to go do for the rest of this super long season.
Armor Synthesis.
Armor Sisyphus. That's its name.
Armor Syphilis?
And then you can make more pretty things. So Game to Give broke a bunch of records, raised a little over $3.1 million from 65,000 people in 120 countries. So Guardians redeemed 220,000 emblems, good support, good energy, lots of good monies. Bungie hosted a live stream with over $180,000 raised during their 5-hour wheel-spinning hot sauce-fueled adventure with the Drifter himself. And if you haven't seen the clip of the guy who does the voice for the Drifter, whose name escapes me, trying to speak as the Drifter while eating hot sauce, it is worth your time.
His first name is Todd, but is it Haben?
I knew it was a Todd H, and I could not remember what the H
Todd
was.
Habanero?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so that's over. That happened. You either redeemed emblems and donated, or you didn't. Good job either way.
Cool.
We have weapon updates.
What about that dragon emblem that they said you don't have to sign up for that sketchy ass Chinese website to get?
Well, I mean, if you're interested, the Destiny 2 team did say this week, for those interested in the new Risen emblem currently being offered on Bilibili, we plan to make this emblem universal for all players as we get closer to the new Lunar New Year. We will share full details as we approach that date.
Oh, come on.
So it's coming. You'll get it. It's not Lunar New Year yet. It's like Christmas. You have to wait. You can't open your presents early.
And yes, I do know it's not an actual dragon before y'all get on my case about it, but I think it's as close as Destiny's ever going to let me get to having an actual dragon emblem. They're dragonist, okay? And that's racist against dragons if you didn't know.
It looks an awful lot like the big worm boss we used to fight at the end of that one strike.
Well, I guess. I mean, to me, it looks like Riven, but yeah, I can see that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I guess same idea, but same thing.
Well, one's an Ahamkara, one's a worm, so
same thing.
They're not.
Nope, absolutely the same. There's no difference at all. It's the same picture. Yeah, Zol, that's the one.
Yeah, Zol.
It's almost like Noble should be on this show. He has any idea what's going on, and yeah, do we? Who knows? But we do have seasonal events and ritual activities. We're getting weapon refreshes starting in March with update 735. Ooh. We're going to be adding new and returning weapons to the loot pools for Trials of Osiris, Iron Banner, and Nightfalls. And they will be additions to the current pool, so they're not replacing any existing weapons this season. So if you're worried that you haven't gotten the role of something you're looking for yet, nothing is going away. This is pure addition to the loot pools.
Yeah, it's because we're kind of halfway through this extended season. That's the only reason why, really.
Yep. They're like, we could take it away, but no, we're not going to do that. That's harder. We're just going to add 2 things. So what are we adding? Well, Trials is getting the Prophet Scout Rifle, which is going to be an aggressive frame primary ammo stasis with the origin traits of Alacrity, One Quiet Moment, and Text Balanced Stock.
Ooh.
And we're getting a reprised Summoner Auto Rifle. Adaptive frame primary ammo, solar with the origin traits of Alacrity, One Quiet Moment, and Wild Card. So I'm excited for the Summoner to come back because that's a very good weapon. Who doesn't love a solar auto rifle? Maybe people will put their aim at AR2s down for a minute.
Well, the aggressive frame scout rifles are like the Dead Man's Tale and the long arm that you can get from the dungeon. So that's going to be interesting to see that we're getting something along those lines. Because apart from that, I don't think we've got any other aggressive frame scout rifles. Those are the only ones.
And it's going to be one of those, that text balance stock origin trait grants the following benefits: 4 seconds upon scoring, 4 hip fire hits. You're going to get plus 20 to your handling and reload speed, plus 9 point times reload duration multiplier, increasing your ADS speed. Decreasing your ADS movement speed penalty by 9.5%. So it's another one of those, again, Text Mechanica style shoot from the hip scout rifles.
Well, that's pretty cool. And you said it's going to be stasis.
Is that the one from the dungeon?
That's the one that's coming to Trials.
The one from the dungeon, is a arc scout rifle, and then the only other one is the Dead Man's Tale, which is the primary.
No, the one from Trials, the hip fire is the kinetic.
It's new. It's not out yet. It's coming to Trials.
Oh,
the Prophet's not out yet. It's going to be out.
Yes, and I'm just comparing it to what we've actually got in the game at the moment. So at the moment, we've only got the Dead Man's Tale, which is a primary scout rifle.
Yeah. And then they have the legendary version you get from that dungeon. That
the last right. The last right, Thank you, Noble. Yeah, and that's got the same, text balance stock origin trait along with the Quiet Moment, Vanguard's Vindication, etc., etc. Yeah, so if you enjoy scout rifles from the hip, then you'll be all set. There's a new one in Trials, and then the Summoner, because who doesn't love a Summoner with the wild card perk that I'm excited about, because that's I'm going to throw Telesto bolts when I get lots of kills with it. Alacrity and One Quiet Moment, again, are fine, and I get why they're all Trials weapons, but I want to use these outside of Trials.
Yes, so we've got to go into Trials to go and get these, haven't we, though?
We do. And I'm fine with that. No. I can absolutely go into Trials, be bad, and get loot. Yeah, and that's why Trials exist for me, and I'm very happy for it.
I definitely see that this is definitely one that I'm going to want to try and get. And when I think I was listening to DCP this week, they were saying, well, what happens if it comes back with the Onslaught perk in one of the columns? That would be quite interesting, because at the moment, you could only get Rampage rangefinder, elemental capacitor, dragonfly, focus fury, multi-kill clip, harmony, wellspring, and golden tricorn. With dynamic sway, you could get overflow. One of the old ones you could get Zen moment, and the older ones you could get underdog. But they've kind of, because we've had 2 refreshes of the summoner. We had one, I think there was one back in when it first came out, and then we had the one in season 16, which is the newest one that we've kind of had. So if they do a perk pool refresh on it, it'd be interesting to see what perks that they add to it and what ones they take away.
Yeah, I've got one sitting here still with, of course, my favorite combination of Overflow and Rampage on it from back when it last came out again. So yeah. I mean, they do say reprise, so I'm assuming it's more than just, hey, we're slapping a new origin trait onto it.
Yes, they're also going to slightly change the skin.
They will, but yeah, I mean, I've got one with Golden Tricorn on there, so increases damage by 15% for 7 seconds on a weapon kill, and matching grenade or power melees while this buff is active grants 50% increase to damage for 10 seconds. And then I've got moving target, high caliber rounds on there, so nice. It stings. It's a good one, and then I've got a couple of other ones that I've kind of kept around, like you were saying, overflow on there with elemental capacitor to max out the stability on it. And then I think an even older one, which has got Rampage and Rangefinder on there. Who doesn't love a Summoner Auto Rifle? Even Respawn loves it.
People don't have one, and will soon be able to get one.
I don't know if I own one, I'll be honest with
you.
I like the idea of it,
one.
and it's solar, right?
Yeah.
It's solar, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind one.
Well, I know he's going to like the next one. Going into Iron Banner is probably the only problem, isn't it?
No. Someone will drag him into Iron Banner so he can get the Tusk of the Boar grenade launcher, which is a wave frame. So, of course, special ammo strand with the origin traits of Skulking Wolf and field tested. So
that's this week?
That's in March. This happens in March. So fast forward to update 7.3.5 in March. They didn't give an they didn't give an exact date, but they just say in early March. So, sometime before the Ides of March, this will be out. And then they're going to tell us when our Iron Banner dates are. Yeah, a wave frame strand grenade launcher.
I call dibs.
Those are all words that I like the sound of.
So what would you like kind of perk-wise to see on that you could possibly get with Strand? Is Threadlings going to be something?
Yes, absolutely. Because, I mean, Threadlings on a primary weapon is okay. But, I mean, special weapon is where it's going to be. Because you'll definitely kill more people with a special weapon. Especially a wave frame. I'd like to see Threadlings and Chain Reaction. That would be a great roll.
Ooh.
Yeah, and they do say this is the only wave frame breach loading grenade launcher as of that update when it comes out. So
yeah,
I assume that means we're going to get more in the future, maybe? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that I'm very excited for. I love a wave frame. And we're getting a reprised Multimax CCX submachine gun. The lightweight frame primary ammo kinetic with Skulking Wolf and field tested. Yeah, that, more SMGs for the people. I've still got the ancient. Yeah. I've still got my old multi-mock that I was playing with the other day going, I remember this weapon. It was so good. And they're like, we're going to give you a new one because I've got one with Unrelenting and Subsistence on it with extended mag for PvE usage, obviously. And yeah, it's good. I likes it. So, yeah.
I got a good multi-mac that had, for some reason, the multi-mac, the stability on those weren't affected by anything on there. So you could have 0 stability on it and it would be absolutely amazing. And I think, so I had one that had 78 range with 8 stability, 78 handling, so it had the Iron Reach perk, which gave you the plus 20 to range, and minus 30 to stability, and it also had subsistence on there. But it hit like a truck, and
it tears through people.
No submachine gun should hit like a truck.
A series of small trucks. It's like a series of small trucks, and both the waveframe and the multi-mock are going to have the field-tested origin perk, which is defeating targets or dealing damage with this weapon gradually increases the range, stability, handling, and reload speed. So, do things make murder? I'm excited. And thanks for sword, but we don't care about sword because these aren't swords. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for these. I'm glad they're adding the quote mid-season, aka start of our new season. And I'm glad they're not taking things away because I haven't decided what I need to spend all my 10,000 engrams on yet. Let's see. So what are we getting for Nightfalls? Nightfalls, we're going to have the new Wild Style grenade launcher, which is a double fire frame, special ammo, solar, with the origin traits of Stunning Recovery, Vanguard's Vindication, and the Text Balance stock. So,
the thing about that is the one that we have isn't very good, you know?
Yeah, so what's the other one? Because Bungie says, this is the only...
The other one is also from that same dungeon the last right comes from. I don't know what it's called, but it's from that same dungeon, and I have a couple. But the thing is the damage is split, which I hate it when they do that.
Okay.
Right?
What's it called? Because I want to look it up on LightGG, because I
would love to tell you.
I didn't remember that the double fire frame was even a thing that existed.
Yep. Sure is.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it's called.
So, waiting for Noble in the chat.
Lingering Dread. Yes. Lingering Dread. He got it.
Lingering Dread. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Because they say this is only the second double fire frame, breach loaded grenade launcher in the game. And I'm going, what was the first one?
Is he sure it's the Lingering Dread?
No, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I trust Noble, and if he's wrong, then I'm heartbroken.
Yeah. I mean, this one says it's a lightweight frame, not a double fire frame. I mean, when they said double fire frame, I was thinking of like the Warden's Law, where it fires two. Which again, like you described, I assume it would fire two things at once.
It does, and I have one. I just hold on. I'm in a spot. If I can get to a spot where I'm not currently melting or dying, then I'll tell you what it is, because it's in my inventory somewhere.
Team doesn't need those revives.
It's not a trait, is it? It's not a trait. It's something. It's
the frame. It's the archetype.
Frame. There you go.
I'm probably gonna die.
Wild Flight.
Wild Flight, is that it? That sounds right.
The Wild Flight, and you can get it from Spyro the Watcher. And it's hard hitting at twin fire rounds.
It says hard hitting, but it's not. Even if you land both rounds.
What happens if you're standing right next to the person, like?
I was about to get to that. Even if you land both rounds on the target, they still don't do as much damage as like a wave frame would, or a high impact style of breach loader or whatever, right? So they've cut the damage in half, and even then, it's still weaker than normal, right? So Bungie doing Bungie, they're like, oh, we don't want to make it too broken. Well, instead of making it too broken or broken at all, you've made it subpar for a new style of frame, Which is exactly what happened to Warden's Law in the beginning. They had to redo the Warden's Law to make it any kind of good.
Well, they might do that with this one.
That's what I was hoping. I was getting there. And since they've already seen the first frame and it didn't go anywhere, right? Then hopefully this one, they'll change the damage and how the damage works and make each one of these rounds do standard grenade damage instead of cutting the damage in half, So actually a little more than half, because like I said, it's in half, and then even then when you land both, it's still less damage than like a wave frame or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, just if you're gonna give me something that fires 2 bullets or 2 grenades or 2 fill in the blank, and this includes the twin fox twin tail.
That fires 3 things now, doesn't it?
Well, it does now, but back then,
now it's the 3 tail
it fires 2 rockets. You'd think that it would do more damage when it's firing 2 rockets, and it does not.
Even when it fires 3 rockets, it still is a little disappointing.
Yeah. So I mean, stop cutting the damage. Give us an exotic that's an exotic, or in this case, if you're gonna have something that shoots 2 rounds, Warden's Law, grenade launcher, whatever, right? Make each one of those do the full damage. Is it going to be broken? Yes. But let us have some fun with it. You're coming out with something that shoots 2 bullets. Last I checked, in real life or whatever, right? If I have a Glock and that Glock shoots 2 bullets at once, each one of those bullets is still going to do the full damn damage.
You're now talking about real world issues with guns. And we know that this is a space magic gun fantasy game. So
okay, space magic should make it even stronger.
No.
Then. We should be able to imbue these guns not only with 2 bullets, but 2 bullets with magic, doing more damage.
No.
You're not helping the case, man.
I am. I'm telling you all about the case.
Well, maybe here's a nice new case for the Slammer Sword. It's a vortex frame.
What?
The Slammer Sword. Vortex frame, heavy ammo, stasis with Stunning Recovery and Vanguard's Vindication origin traits. This is only the second stasis sword in the game with the Cold Steel trait besides the Dawning Sword Zephyr. It's also the first Vortex frame stasis sword. Now you say it's the second stasis sword with the cold steel trait, but then you don't list the cold steel trait. So I'm going to assume this does have the cold steel trait on it, Bungie?
No. The trait is it's not a trait. It's a perk.
Yeah.
Well, they say trait, so I'm just reading the words they say.
I
Words
know
mean things.
that. I know.
They threw the shoes of the English majors again.
Okay.
So yeah, another vortex frame stasis sword.
But the vortex frames are the one where you stand and spin, aren't they?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Almost like, hear me out, a vortex.
But nothing like slamming.
Yeah, no, that is a little weird.
No, just
like I thought it was going to be like the crown splitter where you just come down really hard. The one Titan sword.
The Titan sword where you do slam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe you slam and spin. Ooh.
Yeah.
No, you absolutely won't.
And
But it's a nice thought.
Yeah, I mean, in the cold steel, your powered sword hit slows targets and improves ammo capacity. So I can hit you, I can spin around you, and I can freeze you all at once.
Yeah. Well, the last one wasn't very good. The idea of slowing something is okay, right? But it when it's slowed, it only slows the movement, right? It doesn't slow their actions, does it? Because if it doesn't slow their actions, and I'm meleeing somebody up close, and I don't know, this knight wants to yeet me into the next room, that's not going to be very fun for me,
The question, the question is though, Respawn. Right. How much vault space do you have at this point in time, and can you manage weapons to go into said vault space?
I have 3 slots available.
See, and this is the guy that doesn't even play the other 2 classes as much as.
This is a guy that doesn't play the other 2 classes, and all class-specific armor is on those other 2 characters.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's rough.
The number of things that I'm sitting at 574 of 600 right now, only because I did a big purge of stuff and got rid of all, I'll say most of the special event weapons that I was dropping. And again, throwing them on the character I don't use, going, you're just the holding pin for the rest of this stuff until I sort it out so I don't lose it in the vault. Yeah. Just and I've had the problem 19 in Fears recently, because a couple of times I'm going, oh, I know I have one of these in my vault. And then went, oh no, I don't, because I deleted it because it was, it was an exotic I could pull back out, or it was something that I'm going, well, I've never really used this. And of course, then I see a build involving it, going, oh, I've got this one. No, I don't, because you can't hold on to them because it goes away.
Well, I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's not necessarily. I mean, yes, you can go through your vaults and you can be very meticulous with okay, I'm going to look at the heavy frames and I'm going to look like I maybe need one of every flavor of heavy frame grenade launchers. So you'll go through every frame and you'll go, right, I've got one of each flavor, so I can counter any kind of burn there is or any kind of shield. So I'll get rid of X, Y, and Z. But then X, Y, and Z may be part of a kind of fun build of this is let's face it, 5 years old.
Or they'll get an updated perk pool, or they'll get buffed, or the frame will do more damage.
Yeah, but it could play into a kind of fun build. I mean, I've got a really old Hero's Burden submachine gun. It's light capped, but the range on it is 74. It is the highest range that I can get on a Hero's Burden since they changed it wasn't it was the highest kind of range and stability that I could get on a Hero's Burden since they've kind of changed the perk pools and the way that the weapons were, because this one has actual scopes, whereas the new ones have barrels. And this is kind of, so if I want to kind of pull that out as funsies in Crucible, then I don't want to delete it out of.
Well, first of all, I need to stop you, and I apologize, but you just said for funsies in Crucible, and I have to object to that statement.
You can object. I mean,
Crucible can be funsies. I was killed by a Bygones the other day, which I both was infuriated.
Good.
I know, which I was both infuriated at and respectful of.
Yeah, they're very good. Just because they're light capped don't mean anything.
No, but that's what I'm saying. No, but that's what I'm saying. Some things are just in the vault for funsies of I'm going to pull this out and I'm going to get as many kills as I can with this, so that people go, what the hell is that weapon? I've never seen that, or I haven't seen that in 10 years. Why are you pulling that out? Kind of thing. Some things are in there because of funsies, and it's not, I don't want to have the vault that says I'm there to just be optimized for every encounter. I want to be the vault that has, a gun maybe for every kind of occasion. And just if it's funsies and it's just messing about in Iron Banner or Crucible, regular Crucible, then yeah, it's just
not everything is serious.
No, exactly. And this game isn't that serious.
Nope.
But it's getting to the point where you now get like one of every exotic armor piece, and that's filling up your vault because you can't delete those because it doesn't keep the stats that you want in your collections. If you pull it out from collections, you're looking at something that's like a 48 roll. And, you can only then have maybe like, for example, my Warlock has got maybe 9 extra pieces of armor for his gauntlets on top of like.
See, now you're tilting me though, because every time we start talking about this, I get upset that, all these things that Bungie's bringing out, right? And they won't do something as simple as letting us store a particular armor roll or, increasing vault space or whatever, man. So many of our main issues with Bungie could be resolved by doing something so simple, and yet they won't freaking do it, man. It's like, oh, well, we're going to give you this. Is that vault space? No, then I don't want it. Oh, okay, well, we're going to give you this. Is it vault space? No, then I don't want it. Stop giving us crap that we don't want. Even if the crap is like cool, our main complaint is the vault space we want. Are you hearing me? The vault space, or at a minimum, like you were talking about, that feature where you can store a favorite weapon or armor and then pull it out later. Like in that other game that I forgot what it was.
Fortnite,
right?
Yeah,
Fortnite. Yeah. Something even as simple as that. You're not giving us more vault space per se, but you are letting us save a role that we want somewhere other than our vault.
Yeah,
which is
that's why I'm bringing it up again, because it is something that just needs to be constantly talked about, so that Bungie it's something that needs to be addressed, and Bungie do need to address it. So if we keep talking about it each week, and more people talk about
We've been addressing this for 9 years, and they did give us an additional vault space, because for those of you that don't know, we used to have was it 100?
100.
I think it was 100.
I think when we first started,
Destiny 1.
No, Destiny 2. Destiny 2, I think.
Destiny, no. Yeah, but we also had that in Destiny 1. Didn't we? Just 100. And you always had to go to the tower to swap your stuff out because you didn't have what you needed on you and whatever. You didn't have mini slots in D1.
No,
and you definitely didn't have
in Destiny 1,
500.
I think we only started with something like about 40 slots. And then when Destiny finally finished, it went up to 108 armor pieces and 108 weapons and 72.
216.
72. Anything else, I think.
So basically 298 slots altogether, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So definitely not 500, But, and they're like, oh, but we give you 500. Yes, but you're also giving us constant new stuff and light capping old stuff and rotating this and rotating that and making this good now when it wasn't, and making that bad now, I mean, you have so much loot. It's a looter shooter, and you don't have any place for us to put the damn loot, man.
Hey.
And I don't know how many times I have to teach you this lesson, old man. Even if you sold space in the Eververse store, sell vault space in the Eververse store, you will finance the company for the foreseeable future, dude. I'm telling you.
I've got so many ghosts in the vault for some reason. In Destiny 1 anyway, looking back on it. But I've got something called Knuckles of AO, which affects the increase of the rewards from your next raid encounter you complete in the weekly featured raid. Maybe we should have that. Bring back the bones of EO. Knuckles of EO.
Yeah, there you go.
I was going to say bones of AO I'd be all about.
Yeah.
I just want to bring back the thing that let me punch enemies and turn them into my friends.
That was your artifact, yeah.
But but like 2022 is when we got the 500 to 600, the 100 extra spaces. And even then they said, oh, while we know this doesn't enable players to save every single piece of loot in the game, the team was able to pull some strings to get a little more space for your vaults as we continue to investigate further solutions.
Yeah. I think they need to.
May. Yeah, that was in May of 2022. And here we are now in February of 2024. Are we investigating further solutions? I mean,
no, they're not.
I mean, they're not. Well, like at this point, like there has to be some technical limitation. Like there has to be some this is 20-year-old code from Halo that we've ported over,
and
there's something where they just can't. It's not storage space. It's a row in a database for the number. I mean, like it's not physical storage. It's got to be some. Again, I mean, one of the 10,000 systems that run this game that have been ported over and used since the Halo days. Like, there's got to be something going where we just can't do this because of that. Or if we do this, it involves rewriting like the entire game, and that's 2 years of rewrite, and that's assuming nothing goes wrong. I have to believe it's some like deep technical thing where they're just like, we can't do this, otherwise, why have you not? Like, I just have to believe that they're not just going, no, we don't want to, because again, to your point, if you could sell it, why wouldn't you sell it? If you could do something, I mean, the number one complaint has to be, give me a place to put the things. And if
more things,
right, like you're giving us all this new stuff. I mean, where am I going to put any of it? Why am I going to go trying to get this if I have nowhere to keep it? And
looking at it from kind of an outside perspective, the exotic weapons are probably the best thing to kind of take out of somebody's vault, because if you could just pull those from collections at your light level, so if you are 1810 at this point in time, you could go straight to your collections and go, this is all my exotics here, and I can just pull that back out and I can just shred it at the end of it. Then
I don't think light level would be the right thing, because we'd get back to that whole, you put it out at light level, but that might be your lowest piece of armor. Now you've increased your light level.
But I don't care.
As much as I would enjoy that, Bungie won't let us do that anymore. So I would say to that,
do what they do with the engrams that you can get from vendors. So if you are at 1810, everything that drops in the game is 1810. You can't go any further. But if you are trying to get to 1810, anything kind of vendor wise or just drops in the game is just kind of powerful. So it drops at 1800. Do it like that. The 10-point difference isn't going to matter to some people if they've got something to infuse up to. It maybe in trials, but that's what I'm saying. If it needs to go, they need to go somewhere, because they're the things that are kind of static that don't. I mean, apart from the ones that you can get random rolls on, which are like your DMTs and your Hawk Moons, the others that are kind of static don't need to be in there. I mean, it also then starts to add issues when you have things like the Osteostrager, which is the submachine gun that you can craft. That does it. If you put it back into your collections, can you pull it back out at the same weapon level? I think that's the thing that they kind of need to look at. Is the exotics. The exotics need to be the things that go, because I mean, I think at the moment I've got like 6, 7, 8, 9. There's probably about 30 exotics, or probably even more than that, exotic weapons in my vault that I could, if I could see them next to my vault as part of collections, and I could just go, right, that is part of the vault, but it's not part of the vault.
That's the problem, because the weapons do have the static rolls. It's the armor that's the problem,
Well, no, but the thing is, you don't necessarily keep like 2 armamentariums, 2 Hallowfire hearts and things. Yes, you might get you might for different builds, but then it's very rare. I mean, I've saying that I have.
Well, you definitely don't keep more than one exotic. What I'm saying, okay, so there might be confusion. I say that the armor is the problem because you have to keep that roll.
Yes, you do.
Right,
yeah.
That number, like roll. But an exotic weapon, you can delete it, and the only thing you have to worry about is it coming out at a lower light. That's it.
Yeah.
You get the same weapon, same roll, same skin, same everything. So that's not the problem. We can delete the hell out of that and be fine, right? The problem is the exotic armor and, our non-exotic stuff. Exotic weapons are the least of my problems, in general, man. Just like, I don't know, just. And if you're not going to give us vault space, Bungie, tell us why, at least, so we stop having this 9-year conversation.
Right. I almost like them just to say, listen, there's, deep technical underpinnings of this game that make it impossible without a major rewrite to do this. Like, just tell us what's going to happen. Which, I mean, which to be fair, they probably never will, because again, they're like, why? Like, what value is it to them? It's not like people are going to stop asking if they do tell us, because.
Well, if they sold it, that would be a great value to them. They sell cosmetic stuff all the time.
Right.
Give me a place to put it.
Yeah, but I'm saying there's got to be a reason. Like, there's got to be a technical reason. They're not doing this because they don't want to. There's got to be some reason where they cannot do it, without a massive amount of work. Even if it would bring the money in, it's not worth the investment to do this. Again, that's what I'm telling myself.
Destiny 2 at least once already.
Not the full thing. Not like they've rewritten parts of it. Sure, they've updated parts of it. But if this is something like deeply in the game, like, you know, they talk about like the character movement models from Halo. If this is like, you know, using tech like that, like that's really, really old, they're not going to rewrite it just for this. The effort to do that would be insurmountable.
Yeah, but then especially to your original point, it's just a line item in a database. That's all it is. You know, to your point. You know, I understand not wanting to rewrite the whole game to change how your character runs or to change how your character looks or something like that. Whatever, right? I understand that those kinds of things take a lot of undertaking. But like you said, it's a line item in a database.
But what if they're using what if they're using a database and they've hit the limit of items they can have? They can't go any higher.
You're not adding a new item. Oh, you mean like total vault space number of items?
Yeah, or I mean, again, or just some system somewhere where you've got X number of integers and you can only go up to this number and you've hit that number. You know, again, like Y2K back in the 60s, they were like,
I was just about to say that.
Yeah. I mean, like it's Y2K or the Unix epoch thing in 2038 all over again. Going, you know, back in 1960, we're not thinking about the year 2000. We're not thinking about saving dates as 4 digits instead of 2 because that's, you know, 4 decades away. We'll figure it out by then. You know. Yeah. Same kind of idea going, oh, well, you know, we need 1 billion spots in this database to do things. Well, guess what? Now we need 2 billion spots because we've added all this stuff to the game. And now we can't because, you know, it's not like just, you know, it's not simple.
You decided to have an evolving living game, right? Your software should be able to accommodate something that's evolving at all times, you know? This is an oversight on your part and you need to fix it so I can have what I want.
That's not how any of this works, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you know, we're talking about a 10-year-old game. Realistically, I mean, yeah, D2 came out later, but we're talking about a 10-year-old game. And I mean, look around at technology. What are you still using? What do you have in your house today from 10 years ago that's anything technology-wise, except for maybe like, you know, a landline telephone?
Who still has a landline telephone?
I'm just saying. Some people do. Yeah. I mean, landline telephones are a thing. I'm like, you live out in the country. You need something that doesn't run on power. Yeah, I mean,
okay. Even landlines run on power. Landlines run on power. That's a misconception. They do. You
can make a phone call without power.
No, you're still getting power on the line, but it's coming from the CO, not your house.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. If I lose power and I'm out on my farm, I could still make a phone call. Whereas my wireless phone, cordless phone, everything else might be dead. Yeah, anyway, now that we've gotten way off topic, but yeah, I mean, it just like, again, I have to believe this is some technical reason that they can't do it, or it's enough work that they're going.
Tell us why.
They're going. We're at the end of the game. You know, we're at the end of this game. It's been 10 years. We're not going to put a major investment in because it's just not worth it. Or they're working on that for the final shape as part of the. Hey, this is sort of the end of the ride, the end of the thing, and going, and you know, just like in D1 where they basically gave us all the things in the strikes and all the scoring and all the, you know, basically gave us all the things that they sort of like dripped out and put in temporarily. It could be a situation like that where they're going, you know, okay, well, you know, we've had a seasonal model up till now. We've had something to bring you back theoretically every 90 days or so. Once that goes away, once it's just 3 episodes a year and things slow down, maybe that frees up time to do some of this other stuff, which would have been nice 2 years ago. Or they say, you know, we need to set this game for longevity. And if we want to run this game for another 5, 10, whatever years, then we need to do something about vault space. You know, we need to do something about these core game mechanics and these core game systems if we want people to continue to play this.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that they're helping themselves now with crafting and the amount of crafted weapons that you now get each season that you have to keep in your vault, because if you dismantle it, it goes away and then you don't get all the kind of materials back again. So it's another thing that you kind of hang on to because you've gone through the process of getting those red borders, unlocking it, building it, leveling it up, to then kind of go, oh, I've run out of space. You know, it's so we've now got that on top of the weapons that, you know, the exotic weapons that you can get with random rolls on there, or you can be crafted as well. So they're adding to the fuel of the not having enough vault space.
Well, how fun would it be if you could save your crafted weapon as a template, right? And be like, okay, so this is the weapon that I want. I'm going to save this weapon as is and then delete the weapon. And I can just come back and you can recreate that weapon with that perk pool, including the whole enhanced perks or whatever that you've chosen at the time. And I want to pull that back out, right? That is the template that I'm saving for this gun, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's essentially a forge. There's no reason why I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm saying that, but I still think that that's something that they could do, that right? So it's you're not increasing vault space, but you're making it so that we can go back and get a thing. That way we don't have to keep it in said vault, Anyway,
Yeah, I mean,
this is a problem that they're not going to address, though.
No.
We're
going to keep talking about it, Bungie, until we get some answers.
No, it's just going to come out in that runner game. What the hell was it called?
Marathon.
The one that they
game.
haven't talked about or mentioned, or no one's seen anything of since the playtest didn't go well. Yeah.
Remember all the things you wanted in Destiny 2? Guess what? It's in Marathon.
No, it's not. So when are we getting these new weapons? Because remember we were talking about weapons coming to the game.
March.
Wow.
So March. So week 15, the week of March 5th, 2024. That's when your wild style grenade launcher and its adept version will be featured at the Nightfall. Week 16, March 12th, is when your summoner auto rifle and its adept version will be in trials. Week 17, so that's March 19th, 2024, the Slammer Sword and its adept version will be in the Nightfall, and your Prophet Scout Rifle and adept version will be featured in Trials of Osiris. And then, Nitedemon, mark your calendars.
I've already marked
19, April 2nd, 2024. The new Tusk of the Boar breech-loaded grenade launcher and the returning Multi-Mach CCX submachine gun will be added to the Iron Banner loot pool.
Yeah.
So they've actually given us dates of when these things are going to be.
Bungie, I've got a bit of a complaint here, Bungie.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're not going to like it. I know we've just moaned about the vault space. 9 to 10 weeks in between Iron Banners, and then we get 2 in the same month.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Listen,
because Iron Banner sucks. That's why.
Remember those English majors that they were throwing the shoes at? Well, the schedulers have also gotten the boot. They're like, listen, some game modes we're just going to never bring back. Some game modes we're going to bring back all the time, and you're never going to know. What I'm really curious about, Nitedemon, is which Nightfalls and weapons were scheduled for that week that are now going to be pushed back and may never come back again in the season because whoopsie.
Hang on a second, I will tell you. But yeah, before we get there, I'm gonna, I'm moaning about the Iron Banner.
No, continue to moan.
Iron Banner, we had one in December. So we had it's the beginning of December, that's fine. Then we had one at the beginning of January, that's fine. Then we had one literally about, I think it must have been 3 weeks later because it was on the same rotation when I went to do the video. I was like, this has already got Iron Banner. Oh my God, it was literally 3 weeks ago that we had Iron Banner. So we had Iron Banner again. And then we're not going to get anything for 9 to 10 weeks. Why didn't you put one in February and then another one maybe in the middle of March and then the one in the middle of April, and then that would have been your 5. It's just, I don't, but then we're getting beginning of April, end of April, and then nothing for May to June to when the final shape comes out.
Because the final shape is not Iron Banner or Momentum Control that got lost for 8 or 10 weeks before they finally brought it back. And then Sparrow Control, which they've never brought and just forgotten existed, or we're going to maybe see once. You would think there's a rotation somewhere, but some things clearly just don't get into the rotation for reason or neglect or who knows.
So you want more Iron Banner, or is it the spacing between Iron Banners, or what exactly is your complaint? Because you were upset that they gave it to you back to back, and then you're upset that they're taking 8 to 10 weeks.
9 to 10 weeks.
Whatever. So is your problem the length of time between the Iron Banners, the number of them, or what?
I understand that normally we get 3 Iron Banners in a season. That makes sense, for the 3 months, one per month. But then when they had to extend the season, I could understand that they then came out and said that we're going to have 5. So it was like, well, another 2, but should be 3 if we're extending it literally by another 3 months. I'll take that. But then the spacing in between doesn't seem to kind of go. And I can understand that maybe they'd already kind of pre-planned the first 3 because of how they wanted the season to kind of play out. But then to go 9 weeks without another Iron Banner and then sticking 2 in the same month, literally, about 3 weeks apart, is like, well, why didn't you put one in? If you're going to do that, why didn't you put one in April, one in May, and then you got Final Shape in June?
Yeah, just spacing. Just look at a calendar for your extended season and plan out when things are going to drop. And then again, you wouldn't have momentum control going away for 8 or 9 or 10 weeks or whatever it was, and the Sparrow race. Like, if you're going to run things, have them be somewhat predictable, or at least some kind of rotation. Because, I get that you tell us what happens every week, but even that is subject to change, and it'd be nice again. Like, if you're looking forward to something, remember when it is, know when it is. Going, okay, Iron Banner is the second week of every other month or whatever. They don't need to give it a whole schedule of like, here's what's happening in every week of the season, but just if you're looking forward to a game mode, knowing what it is can help you kind of plan around it.
Yeah. What I can tell you, Peroty, is I can answer your question now because I've worked out the rotations and things. So week 15, which begins March 5th, will be the Hypernet Current Nightfall. And that should have had the pre-Astronax 4 bow being the featured weapon. So we're now going to get the Wild-style grenade launcher there. So I don't know if these are being slotted in and then the bow will then take the next week, because the next week should be the Undercurrent with the Lake of Shadows. And then the week after, which is the 17th, we should have the Slammer Sword, and that will be the Corrupted instead of the Izanami RR4 sniper rifle. So I don't know, until we kind of get there, I don't know what the rotations are going to be with these, but I'm guessing up until that rotation, they're going to be the same Nightfall with the same weapon until we get there. And then instead of the bow, we'll have the grenade launcher, and instead of the sniper rifle, we'll have the sword. But then do they all kind of get pushed into the rotation further down the line? Because just looking at the dates, we go up to the week 27 of the season. I'm in my head now, I'm hearing Hazel and Gator, and Hazel going, week 27 of Season of the Wish. There's stuff broken. We're not talking about it. It's just, yeah. But speaking of Nightfalls, you'll never guess, even after last week's show, who said, I'm not interested in getting an Izanami R4. You'll never catch me in a Nightfall getting an Izanami R4 sniper rifle. Guess who went and got one? Oh, and 2, actually.
2. 1 for each hand.
Peroty? I don't know. Lots of people would probably say that. Oh,
Peroty on last week's show.
Yeah, guess who now has 2 of them because of double drops.
Double drops.
Because you needed to have 2 of them, 1 for either hand.
Yeah, well, the double drops doesn't matter. You willingly went in there. Why'd you go in there?
And I got an exotic that I now don't remember because I deleted it with 25 mobility. So I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah,
it's like you've completed the Grandmaster. Here is absolutely nothing you need, but I suppose some exotic ciphers. So I think I have 8 now.
Yeah, you've got some exotic ciphers. Did you get some golf balls as well?
I've got plenty of golf balls. I've had to spend golf balls to make room for more golf balls.
Well, that's the idea. You spend the golf balls, make room for more golf balls, and then complain that you've got no room for the golf balls. It's the law of the land.
I understand when we had a limit of 10, but isn't the limit like 30 now?
Yeah, and I don't spend them because what am I spending them on?
Go and put them on the Warlock and go and put them on the Hunter.
The Hunter's at 1704. He'll be fine.
Yeah, but his exotics need to be infused up to the max.
You're using that word in the plural, sir, and I don't think that's the current situation. Oh no, I lied. Sorry. He does have 5.
There you go.
So the word is plural.
There you go.
But yeah, no, I mean, what am I upgrading? Like I keep having to spend the stupid upgrade. Oh, what are those dumb things called? The upgrade modules.
Yeah,
I keep having to spend those because I'm just sitting at max. And I need to, pick up things in the tracks to reset the weapons to give me more armor perks. And I keep having to spend those and going, what am I going to upgrade these
So
on?
you haven't played the game of going through your vault and going, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, infuse up to 1810 until you've got everything infused up to 1810, and then you go, I don't know what to do with this now.
No, because I grab something that's 1600 and I go, let me infuse you, and then I either delete you or throw you back in the vault.
See, look, Peroty, just do what Nitedemon doing. Nitedemon is embracing his hunter heritage. Okay, he cosplays as a Titan, but we all know he's really a hunter at heart, and he's accepting this. So why don't you just come to the side of the hunters? Why don't you give your hunter more love, Peroty? I mean, come on,
because when I loaded the hunter up to loot the raid chests, it was telling me I needed to go do Beyond Light. It was telling me I need the fact that the side of my screen is full of quest lines I have never done on that character, which kind of is my gripe about having multiple characters. I'm not going to go back and ever play those. I don't even know if it matters. I don't know if there's anything. I mean, now that I don't have to do the whole stasis, timeline for the hunter, but I'm like, why would I ever go back and do that? It's silly. I'm never going back and playing this old content.
It's a little investment.
It's just not going to happen.
It's an investment in your future, okay? Playing the hunter would be the best thing you ever do with your Destiny gameplay. All right? I'm telling you.
The only thing I've thought about is because I'm playing more competitive now and playing more PvP, is leveling the hunter solely for that reason.
See? There you go.
No, I'll give you another reason.
But that's what the Warlock is for.
I'll give you another reason. Level up the hunter so that we can go into trials on your hunter to get another drop of the summoner.
See,
incentivized.
But that's what the Warlock is for.
No, but you need
you get another one.
Additional, yeah. This is going to be the trials of all trials.
With what time? With what time am I going to play this third character? I barely have enough time to play the second character.
We'll make time. We will get you more summoners than you know what to do with.
Look, I'll go out on a limb. If you come into trials and level up your hunter, I will go into trials and level up my Titan.
There you go. That's a stream there.
That's a stream.
It is.
That is a stream. I'm going to hate every minute of it, but I'll do it.
But you did ask the question why Peroty was in a Nightfall. It's because I said, let's go and do a Grandmaster Nightfall. And because I've got the Grandmaster selection node open, we can go and select whichever Grandmaster we want to kind of do. Even though
that means we can go back and do the grenade launcher one that I just missed.
No. You can't go back and get the weapon. The weapon is whatever the weapon is for that week. But you can select whichever Grandmaster you want to do, and then when you complete it, it gets knocked off that list. You can't go back and do it again. But the funny thing was that the Corrupted was the Nightfall that was up that week. So we kind of optimized our loadout, didn't we? We got all our champions and things. The first one that we loaded into, we died, I think, about 5 times. I say a couple of people died about 5 times in the first area. Even though we killed the barrier champions and got some of the revives back, we were like, let's restart this again. We then got to the next area where you go through the portal and you have to kind of throw the balls at the shielded enemies, and we all died in there. So then we went, you know what, I've got the selection node open. Let's pick a Nightfall to kind of do. And we went with Birthplace of the Vile. And it went so smooth, Respawn. It was unbelievable. I mean, they're not easy, but it was kind of easy with the way that we kind of had our loadouts kind of set up and our builds. And I think we did it in half an hour. Really, really good fun. We then thought, we haven't got time to kind of do another Grandmaster. Let's just do a master version of this week's Nightfall the Corrupted. It took us, I mean, Peroty did leave, I'd say about 40 minutes into it, but it took
I had to run off to work.
Me and Hoops over an hour to do a master version of the Corrupted, whereas we'd just done the Grandmaster version of the Birthplace of the Vile in 30 minutes. I was just like,
Corrupted is rough. Yeah,
it definitely was rough.
No problem.
But I was laughing at the end that it took us that long.
But I've told y'all before, Nightfalls are scary, like in the beginning. But once you get that loadout and you know the Lightfall, who's going to spawn where and when, It's so much easier, dude. You just got to know the Nightfall.
Yes, but I think some of the Nightfalls are trickier with like the Corrupted, where you go into that first with the lift. You go in because it's such a small, confined area, and you have all the taken on the the taken blight stuff on the floor. You have enemies coming at you quite quickly, and if you're not coordinated with taking stuff down, and it can just turn into a complete nightmare. I think sometimes, I know it was just like running around like headless chickens. We were like, throw the ball to me. Oh no, I've died. Never mind, kind of thing. And it's like, but yeah, it's that's the reason why we ended up doing Nightfalls this week, because we had some time and we did Nightfall stuff. So we've got some sniper rifles.
Yeah, two of them that exist that I have not deleted yet. They're still sitting there hanging out with my adept hung jury from 1,000 years ago. The last time I ran a GM. Yeah, they're there. I got one for either hand now with Deconstruct in Discord and Golden Tricorn in Discord on the other one. Mm-hmm. And they exist and they are certainly adept. Mm-hmm. I'm like of all the weeks of all the things I could have gotten that I would conceivably use.
I mean, that just means you got to go back in another week, Peroty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Would you like me to tell you what's happening next week or this week coming up in Destiny?
I'd like to know if there's any guns worth it. Yeah.
Of course there is.
Yeah, what's happening?
You're funny.
This is your weekly rundown of Season 23, Week 12, Season of the Wish. The Dreaming City this week is at a medium curse level, which means Petrovenge can be found in the Devilian Mist, and has the Oracle Engine mission for the next week. The Blind Well features Hive enemies and the Plague Kregar. The Ascendant challenge this week will be the Shattered Ruins, which can be located over in the Spine of Keris. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is a mysterious disturbance. The Trove Guardian is located in the Anchor of Light, while the Wandering Nightmare is the Nightmare of Sortal in Sorrow's Harbour. Nightmare hunts Tanix, Isolation, Zydron, Servitude, and Ghoul, Rage. On Europa this week, Phylax the Warrior will be the Empire Hunt, Assyrian's Abyss will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo Challenge will be Agility. Days of Eternity legendary rounds are Fallen, Hive, and Zydron. The Scatterhorn armor set and the Lightkin armor set will be available in Days of Eternity with Weapon Set 3, Chroma Rush, Ignition Code, Grid Skipper, Farewell, Sonja's Tale, Shattered Cipher, Main Ingredient, Long Shadow, Last Dance, Toil and Trouble, Wishbringer, and Last Perdition. The Witch Queen weekly story mission is The Ghosts, Altar of Reflection's Choice, and Altar of Reflection's Insight. The Lightfall weekly mission is First Contact, the Partition mission will be Ordnance, and the Vexing Coast in this week will be Umshire Park. The Crota's End raid challenge this week is the second encounter across the bridge, called Precarious Balance. The Root of Nightmares raid challenge this week is the third encounter, Macrocosm, called Cosmic Equilibrium. The Kingsfall raid challenge this week is the fourth encounter, Daughters of Oryx, called Under Construction. The Vault of Glass challenge this week is the fifth encounter, Atheon, called In Symbolist Refrain. The Deep Stone Crypt challenge this week is the second encounter, Atrax 1, called Copies of Copies. The Garden of Salvation challenge this week is the second encounter, Spire Defense, called A Link to the Chain. And the Last Wish challenge this week is the fourth encounter, Vault, called Keep Out. Your pinnacle raid will be the Vow the Disciple over on the Throne World, which means all challenges will be available for each encounter, with the exotic Pulse Rifle Collective Obligation being farmable from the final boss. The pinnacle dungeon will be the Prophecy over in the Legends tab, and the exotic mission rotator will be Vox Obscura, with the Dead Messenger exotic grenade launcher being the main reward. The Season of the Risen weapon set, plus the Tusk Allegiance armor set. We have now had all 66 challenges over the first 10 weeks of the season. So, as a reminder, if you complete 63 out of the 66, you can get a large pile of Bright Dust to spend at the Eververse store in-game. Lost Sectors, Tuesday Aphelios Rest on the Dreaming City for exotic helmets. Wednesday, Bay of Drowned Wishes on the Dreaming City for exotic boots. Thursday, Chamber of Starlight on the Dreaming City for exotic gauntlets. Friday, Perdition on Europa for exotic chests. Saturday, Bunker E15 on Europa for exotic helmets. Sunday, Concealed Void on Europa for exotic boots. And Monday, Thrillerdrome on Neptune for exotic gauntlets. Also, this week's weapon rotation will start in set 2 on Tuesday's reset. Our 12th featured Nightfall of the season will see us face off against Swantophiris, the Exhumed Tether, in the highest battlegrounds Moon, with the Braytech Osprey rocket launcher being the featured weapon. The 6v6 control node will feature Control, Team Scorched in the Party Relentless playlist, Showdown in the 3v3 playlist, Relic in Crucible Labs, and Trials of Osiris at the weekend, with bonus trials ranks available all weekend long. Plus, continuing this week, we have Riven's Wishes and Moments of Triumph 2023. And that's it for the 12th week of Season of the Wish.
Well, that was good fun.
It was. So yeah.
Oh, you didn't do recording. Damn it.
You fall for it every time.
Every damn time.
Who is on first? Well, now that Bungie told us what new things we're going to get, they're going to remind us what's in the loot pool. So after now again in March, once update 7.3.5 happens and we get these loot pools updated, your Trials loot pool will have the Summoner, the Prophet Stasis Auto Rifle. I'm sorry, the Summoner Auto Rifle, the Prophet Stasis Scout Rifle. It will join your Incisor Strand Trace Rifle, your Eye of Soul Kinetic Sniper Rifle, your Cataphract GL3 Strand Drum Grenade Launcher, your Igneous Hammer Solar Hand Cannon, the Messenger Kinetic Pulse Rifle, and the Unexpected Resurgent Arc Glaive. It's a stack of weaponry.
It is.
Iron Banner, we're going to have our Multi-Mox CCX Kinetic Submachine Gun, our Tusk of the Boar Strand Breech-Loaded Grenade Launcher, and those will join the Lethal Abundance Strand Auto Rifle, the Reese Walker Kinetic Shotgun, the Point of the Stag Arc Bow, the Guiding Sight Strand Scout Rifle, the Swarm of the Raven Void Drum Grenade Launcher, the Pressurized Precision Strand Fusion Rifle, Jorum's Claw Solar Pulse Rifle, and the Bite of the Fox Kinetic Sniper Rifle.
That Strand one, is that a 3-shot burst or is that a single shot for the fusion? No, you said fusion. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the heavy one. My bad.
Oh, yeah. No, you're thinking of the Doom Petitioner.
Yeah.
I mean, and really, that list of stuff in Iron Banner, there's something in there for everyone. There's something in there someone's going to want. So just go in and play. And I assume with the next Iron Banner, they're going to have the same node to switch between Control and whatever the other option is. So if you don't want to do Eruption or Fortress or whatever, you can just go play Control and get weaponry for just showing up. And if you want to show up to the Nightfalls, we're going to have the Wild Style Boar Breech-Loaded Grenade Launcher, the Slammer Stasis Sword, the Undercurrent, and those will join the existing Undercurrent Arc Breech-Loaded Grenade Launcher, the Izumi RR4 Solar Sniper Rifle, the Warden's Law Kinetic Hand Cannon, the I always want to say the
Pre-Astyanax.
Yeah, that one.
Astyanax 4.
Yeah, Solar Bow, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Your Loaded Questions Arc Fusion Rifle, and your Braytech Osprey Void Grenade Launcher. So, I mean, decent loot pulls out of everything. Like, there's a good mix of stuff that if you're like, why would I ever want that weapon type? Well, there's other weapon types, and then you can go focus. So there's something in there for everyone.
Do we have the loot pool for that grenade launcher yet? In late GG or whatever the hell people use nowadays?
No, not until the March.
No, not until it gets added.
Which will be... It's got to be before the March 5th date, so we'll be getting it soon.
Yeah.
I mean, the main perk I want to see on that breach loader is chain reaction. If I can get something additional, like the
Threadlings,
Swarm Nanites or whatever, Threadlings, yeah, those things, that'd be a bonus. But I mean, at a minimum, I want it to have chain reaction, because the chain reaction waveframe is, in my opinion, is the best type of grenade launcher in the game. And like I mentioned before, my arc waveframe has like 90,000 kills or some insane number. I don't know, but it's a lot of kills on it. Oh man! But if I could have a strand one to go with my strand build, because my strand build be struggling with that primary weapon, So give me something good to put there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really and I know the second slot is definitely not strand. It's only the heavy and the primary slots that can get strand. But Bungie, if you can give me a strand in the elemental slot, I don't care what it is, that would be game changing. Just let me have that.
Why don't you just move Osmosis into the energy weapon so Respawn can throw a grenade and then become strand on all three things.
Yes.
That's all you really need.
100%. Let me have strand in everything. Because strand is fun, and I like strand. And it gives me the good feeling. I don't think that's asking for much. I mean, it might be.
But
it shouldn't be.
But we do get some upcoming loot pool rotations. I'm hoping this is the rotations for the final shape. So they've given us Trials of Osiris. Iron Banner is going to be whatever kind of weapons are in there. But then Nightfalls, we've got 2 unrevealed weapons, and then the rest of the weapons that should be in the loot pool. So I'm not sure if this is the actual rotations of these weapons, or these are just going to be the ones that are available in these loot pools. So the plan is for the Trials of Osiris to return to 6 weeks rotation, and we're going to have Nightfalls at 8-week rotations instead of 6 in the final shape because of the longer seasons. So I'm guessing now the Conquer title will have to move to 8 as well. So that's pretty cool. What do you reckon about that?
Oh, yeah, right, yeah, because of the episodes, we're only in 3 a year versus 4 a year. So, yeah, they're all longer. That makes sense.
So there's
there's
going to be more Nightfalls, more weapons to kind of get, and more chances to get the Adept versions, apparently. So we have Unrevealed Weapon A, Unrevealed Weapon B, then we have the Summoner Solar Auto Rifle, the Prophet Stasis Scout Rifle, the Incisor Strand Trace Rifle, and the Eye of Soul Kinetic Sniper Rifle for Trials. Iron Banner, we have Unrevealed Weapon A, Unrevealed Weapon B, the Multimax CCX Kinetic Submachine Gun, Tusk of the Boar Strand Breach Loaded Grenade Launcher, Lethal Abundance Strand Auto Rifle, the Wrist Walker Kinetic Shotgun, the Point of the Stag Arc Bow, and the Guiding Sight Strand Scout Rifle. Nightfalls, we have the Unrevealed Weapon A, Unrevealed Weapon B, the Wild Style Solar Breach Loaded Grenade Launcher, the Slammer Stasis Sword, the Undercurrent Arc Breach Loaded Grenade Launcher, the Tsunami RR4 Solar Sniper Rifle, the Warden's Law Kinetic Hand Cannon, and the Pre-Asianax 4 Solar Bow. There you go.
I can tell you've been practicing that one. Good job.
Yeah, well, yeah. So what's missing from the Nightfalls and everything else in these loot pools? So Cataphract GL3 Strum Grenade Launcher will be going from Trials, and the Igneous Hammer. Oh, and the Messenger. They haven't put the Messenger in there either.
Yeah, and the Glaive, Unexpected Resurgence.
Oh, so they're taking 4 out. So now this makes sense why they're kind of. I know we've got the extended season, but now we're getting an abundance of these weapons now, and then we're going to get 4 taken out. That's quite a lot. So the Nightfalls will be. I don't know. Is it the Nightfalls seem to be the same? There must be something going from the Nightfalls. Oh, the Braytech Osprey. Loaded questions, yeah. So they're going when we get the final shape in June. And then Iron Banner has, is it the Bite of the Fox Sniper Rifle?
Bite of the Fox, Jorum's Claw.
Pressurized Precision Strand Fusion Rifle. And then Swarm of the Raven. Is that in there?
Yeah, the Swarm of the Raven. Yeah, so basically, for Nightfall and Iron Banner, most of the older weapons. Trials, some of the newer weapons and the ones, Messenger and Igneous Hammer that have been around 1,000 years.
Yes. But we do have another, I don't know how many weeks, 9-10 weeks of this. Is it? Yeah, no, more than 9-10 weeks this season. We're currently in week 11. Next week will be week 12. And then we have up until week 27 of Nightfall. So you've got until May, the week ending June 3rd, basically, to get all those Iron Banner weapons, all the Nightfall weapons, and all the Trials weapons before they're kind of, the ones we've just pointed out are kind of gone, with the final shape releasing in June 4th. So
there we go.
We do.
Plenty of time to get them. And mark your calendar for April for Iron Banner. The 2nd and the 30th. So yeah. Beginning of April, and basically, the second one is basically the first week in May. April 30th. So I'll your moan is still valid, but I'll give you basically the first week of April and the first week of May is essentially when your Iron Banners are.
Oh, sorry, they're 4 weeks apart. Oh my god.
Yeah, 4 whole weeks, Nitedemon. 4 whole weeks. But don't worry,
the future is bright.
He's gonna go into withdrawal. I promise you.
It's so bright. And why is it bright, Nitedemon? Why is it bright?
Because there's going to be 9,100 bright dust free for every player.
That's a lot of bright dust. And what do I have to do to get this bright dust?
You have to log on every week from the 5th of March and go to the Eververse store to claim your 700 bright dust each week leading up to the launch of the final shape. So make sure to log in, get your dust, and spend wisely. Or hoard it like I do, wait for the events to come around and go, I've got all this bright dust, I can buy the event stuff. Because all the other stuff kind of comes in the engrams, mainly, hopefully.
All about the multiplayer emotes. You can sit by the fire and make s'mores with your friends. Or whatever silly multiplayer emotes you can find.
It is sad that I play a lot of different games, and all these other games have emotes, but Destiny is the only game that emotes have such a value, I guess. Like, nowhere else do I see people use emotes in any other game as often as they do in Destiny. And I don't know why that is. I mean, does Destiny just have higher quality emotes? I don't think that that's the case, but like,
I don't think you've played
this is
Fortnite.
something that I have
I
noticed.
don't think you've played Fortnite with the emotes.
No, I've never played Fortnite.
There you go, then.
And I honestly probably never will.
There are emotes that I didn't ever think would exist, but they do.
Yeah, no, Fortnite's emote game puts everyone else to shame.
Does it?
Having gotten a full tour from my nephew on his massive collection of emotes, I mean, like they are full, like audio, visual, because they've got songs, they've got music, they've got, I mean, it's not just, hey, I'm going to dance or do a little silly thing. It is a full music video.
The emote?
Yeah. Destinies are good for Destiny, but Fortnite, there's no competition.
Okay. Well, you know what? I sit corrected. Everybody out there, don't come at me with your Fortnite shenanigans.
You don't have to, because we've corrected him.
I've been corrected. I apologize for offending you.
And also, Respawn.
Yes.
I'm gonna remind you, as I always do every week, because this is what we do. This is what we're here for. To remind you that the Armor Synth bounties will be refreshed on March 5th. So the cap for the Armor Synth bounties will reset. So make sure that you get your I think it's 10, isn't it, bounties? And stack them up, complete them, get as many done on each character you can before the Armor Synth reset on the 5th. And then you'll get some more that you can then do up until the final shape.
The crazy thing is, go ahead, Perry.
I just picked up one this morning, and that was the last one I had because I had lost track. I wasn't keeping count at all. So got my last one, finished it in Gambit this morning. So now I'm all set for my fresh set of armor that I'll try to remember that exists. And honestly, we'll see what I'll put on the Hunter, clearly, because the Hunter will need to have some fashion at all.
Yeah, you need some fashion game on the Hunter.
Or were you going to say Respawn?
I mean, what I was basically going to say the same thing, because up until this season, right, I've never even needed the armored synths because I've always had with the original 20 they gave us or whatever, however many it was from the beginning. I never even used those up, right? So this time I go in and I realize I'm out, so I start grabbing those armored synths for Gambit because I was playing Gambit, and within I think a day or a couple of days, I exhausted all of them. Because Gambit, you fly through those like crazy, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I went back and it's like, oh, I got to wait for refresh, and I'm like, all right, cool. So I waited till Tuesday, thinking that that's the refresh they meant, and I still didn't have it. I'm like, the hell. And one of you is like, oh no, you get it once. You get those per season. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah,
per season,
10 per season per character.
That's crazy.
They're like,
it's ridiculous.
Decide the pretty thing you want to look like and stick with it.
But I don't wanna. I want to have the choices to make all the pretty things in my inventory, dude.
This is the land of Or, not the land of And.
No,
say no.
That is false.
No, I mean in Bungie's universe, it is though.
Bungie's wrong. Bungie should correct themselves. That's all I have to say about that.
Now let's see. They did correct themselves. How many armor synths did they say we're getting in the TWAB? Did they say 8 or did they say
stack
10?
up with the 8 bounties available after the reset.
Okay, and the Destiny 2 team did tweet out later. A couple quick corrections for today's TWAB. On March 5th, we'll reset the armor synthesis to the cap of 10, not 8. Also, there was a typo where the Warden's Law was listed as strand instead of kinetic. The Warden was not happy about that typo. So Warden's Law did not become strand, which I think they fixed that typo because I didn't catch it.
I think so, yeah. I didn't catch that one.
Yeah, and yeah, so it is 10 bounties you'll get for your beautiful armor synthesis, not 8. Because typing is hard.
Always hard.
And the Destiny 2 strike team did have one other little note of own someone whose name I can't pronounce, asking, is there any chance we could get an update on what the PvP strike team has been planning? They've been quiet for a while now. And Destiny 2 team says, sure thing. We'll have an update from them in a few weeks, talking about some changes we have planned. So will that be actual information, or will it be we're going to tell you what we're going to tell you once we're ready to tell you it? Well, you have to wait a few weeks to find out. So
it reminds me of that T-shirt in the French Quarter. It says, "How do you keep a blonde occupied? Look at the other side." And then the other side says, "How do you keep a blonde occupied? Look at the other side."
Respawn, there's no time to explain that I have no time to explain.
I know. I get that.
Hey, Nitedemon.
But what about it?
Yes.
I'm just a silly little cursed thrall. Just a silly little guy. You wouldn't punch me, right?
No, we'd hug.
We would. And now it's time for your player support report. There's Game to Give emblems. Recently, they resolved an issue causing the Game to Give donation emblem rewards from the current charity event to display as unavailable after being unlocked. If you encounter this error, log into your account to confirm the emblem can now be successfully equipped. If you still encounter issues, submit a ticket with this lovely little link here. And as always, there's a handful of known issues. The Supernova Sprint Triumph can only be completed if players finish the Star-Crossed Exotic mission in less than 15 minutes instead of 20 minutes. So you gotta either be real quick or wait for them to fix that to get your 5 minutes back. Now, sliding and shooting a weapon while surged cancels the effects of the lightning surge aspect. Seems silly.
Working as intended? Question mark.
Yeah, just like the Prometheum Spur Exotic is gaining less class ability energy than intended from solar weapon kills. Because why would it? The Tying It All Together quest from Ep.264 may not successfully grant players their Glimmer reward if they already have over 250,000 Glimmer in their inventory, because no one told her about the increase to 500,000.
Okay.
And for Titans, your Revitalizing Blast is not weakening champions or bosses if the Consecration Solar aspect is equipped. Because why would you want to jump into the air and smash things and then weaken people with the thing you put on your artifact? That's just silly.
Yeah, don't go do silly things.
Yeah, and that's it. That's the only known issues. There's definitely not a link to the known issues list with more known issues on it. Nope. That's all there is to see here.
Yeah, because Destiny's, as we all know, is a perfect game that doesn't have any problems.
Yeah, no, there's no bugs.
I mean, aside from the ones you just mentioned, which aren't problems, they're features. They're unintended features.
Yeah.
Is what they are. Yeah.
But we do have an actual feature, the Cryosethia 77K and the Assassin's Crowl. Someone doing terrible, terrible things in the Crucible with it. And then the best duo in Trials of Osiris art of the week of, two hunters doing hunter things with very, very long barrels.
Are we still talking about Destiny, or have we stepped into the world of euphemisms?
No, they have two guns with very long barrels. One's a sniper. I think they're both sniper rifles. So yeah, no, they've got long barrels just hanging out. And that's it from Bungie this week. This is our reminder and their reminder. The wishes from Riven continue to go through all of this season, all the way up to the final shape. So if you're thinking you've missed out on one and you're going, I just won't collect my wishes to get my free red border weapons or my mementos, you can still get them. And it was either Noble or Donnie confirmed this week, and now I don't remember who sent it to me, that they did not pick up the week 1 wish, but on week 2 picked up the wish week 2 and got week 1. So they will go in order week 1 to week 6, but you don't have to do them on the weeks. You can wait till the end and do them, you can't do them simultaneously. You can't do 2 wishes at a time, but you have to do, one wish, then the next, but you don't have to do it on the week it drops. So again, you've got till June to pick those up.
Also with that, I did find out if you hang on to your kind of wish token that she gives you from doing wish 1, you don't have to spend it to pick up the next wish to then do the next kind of part of the quest. So if you want to, you can hang on to all 6 of your wish tokens until the end and then decide what you want to get. Because you may decide, you know what, I might use Fireteam Finder this week and go into a Last Wish raid and get all those red borders so you don't need to go and use that. And you also have got all the exotics because you decided to pony up and get all the stuff for Lightfall and you don't need to get those low grade exotics from her. So you go, you know what? I might just need some of those black mementos or some of those icy mementos. And you got to the end of the season to do that.
There you go.
And it was Donnie. I did find it from Don Ozarda. Hey, Peroty, I know you guys were trying to figure out if you can hold multiple wish quests. I haven't done week 1 and just picked up week 1 and 2 from Mara, so I might have even misspoken. So it sounds like he picked up both at the same time. So you might be able to work through them concurrently. So yeah, but the point of this is you're not going to miss out. This isn't I couldn't play this week because I was maybe flying across the country to look at schools with my daughter or something. Nope. Once you get back, you can pick up right where you left off and continue to get your wishes.
First of all, you're sacrificing Destiny for the sake of your child. Isn't that like the wrong way to go?
I mean, I would never do such a thing. But some people
You don't
do.
have children.
Yeah, which is why I would never do such a thing.
One of these days, man, you're gonna end up getting like a godchild or something, and I don't know, Peroty. I mean, look, I talk a lot of game and whatnot, and as somebody that has 2 kids, I'm the kind of person that says once you have them, you'll never understand what life was like before them, both in a positive and a negative way. But
yeah,
I don't know, bro.
Yeah,
I don't know.
This was summed up to me by a good friend as net neutral at best. You will have the highest highs and the lowest lows of your entire life with children. Net neutral at best, which, a little reductive, but yeah. Yeah, but that's it. They'll be back next week with more Destiny news, and so will we.
Yes, we will. And I'll be home this Saturday, so I can actually have a good system to do the podcast on.
Ooh, fancy.
But speaking of Fireteam Finder, I did kind of use Fireteam Finder this week and had a bit of. Let's say it was fun. It was
Fireteam finding. Yeah, how'd your Fireteam finding go?
I wouldn't say it was fun.
No.
Did you hit those sweet stats? Did you get your 44% completion or whatever?
No. Right. So just for context, I thought, this week I won't stream. I won't kind of, I'll hide offline because I want to try the Fireteam Finder and see what it's like just as a normal kind of Destiny player without kind of your friends there to kind of get you going. I just wanted to see what it would be like if somebody would log on that didn't have a clan and just wanted to kind of get these things done. And I went for the Root of Nightmares because I thought, I want some more Rufus's Furies.
Mm-hmm.
Because who doesn't?
No, exactly. So the first one that I loaded up was quite funny because I was looking at the tags. They had 5 of 6 people. I was like, this is good, but it said no mic is required, and I thought,
in a raid,
but would be helpful probably. Yeah.
Hold on. This is the raid, right? You did say the raid.
Yeah, I said the raid. Yeah, I said the raid. Right.
Root of Nightmares.
No, I thought, well, maybe it's that they're already in a fire team and they just want somebody else to tag along just to maybe kill some ads and just maybe they're kind of just being generous and being friendly. So
I already know where this is going.
We get in there. Everybody runs to the first flag. Somebody does some shenanigans and makes the flag spawn out in the middle of nowhere. So nobody.
I hate that.
So nobody can actually grab the flag. So we'll kind of just stand there. You can. I mean, I should have known that everybody was just going. You could see the characters just flicking from one person to the next, looking at them in game, going, "Are you going to start this? Am I going to start this? Who's going to start this?" I was like, "Well, you know what? I'm just going to go and start it." So I went and shot the ballie, and they all kind of just ran off in different directions. And I was thinking, "Am I now the runner?"
You're the runner. You're the runner.
So I stood there and I was thinking, but they've all just gone off fighting things. And there's a scion there that nobody's decided to smack, and there's a scion over there that nobody's decided to smack. Do I do the running and smacking of the scions as well? So
what happened is you joined a lobby of squeakers, and they didn't want you to know that they were squeakers. So that's what happened. Dude.
So
you are now the Sherpa. Congratulations.
Yep. You're the Sherpa, you're the runner, you're the Scion killer, you're the anti-barrier killer, and you're the killer of the Nightmare. So, have fun with that.
You got this.
Yeah.
You're now soloing a raid in a team of 6.
Yeah.
So, I was the guy that literally had to kind of do everything. And we got one tormentor down before kind of I realised that this isn't going to work.
Tormentor, not Nightmare, Tormentor, yeah.
This wasn't going to work. Me doing the running and hitting those scions. I'm like, I cannot do all of this.
I cannot tell a lie.
So we wiped, and literally I think after the first wipe, somebody left, and it was like, yeah, this is how it's.
What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah, this is how it's going to go. And I've been in many of those raids where it's like, oh. So I was like, okay, right, I'll do another search, see if we can find it. There was nobody doing it. And I was thinking, well, is it the time of day? Because it was like about midday on I think it must have been a Thursday afternoon. I was like, oh. So there was nobody around. I thought, I'll give up for today. I'll try again tomorrow. Uh-huh. So log back in, Root of Nightmares again, find a group, says, they're talking in Discord. I was thinking, don't know how I'm going to be joining their Discord. But I'll click the button and
normally they'll send you a link in the
that's
chat
what I was
and you'll have to
thinking.
do it like
That's
that.
what I was thinking. So I joined them, and they also only joined in like the regular chat. So they were all chatting away, saying they were in a Discord, but they were also in this regular chat as well with us. It was fine. There was about 3 or 4 of them that knew each other.
Cool.
A French guy and me, and I was like, "This is going to go well." I can feel it. That they were friendly. They were messing
Now,
about.
did the French guy speak English, or was he speaking French?
No, he was speaking broken English, but he understood.
Okay.
He'd only done like about, I think he said about 5 raids, so he wanted to kind of get this one under his belt, and they were really accommodating, showed everybody how to kind of do stuff and talk through stuff, and we started off the first encounter brilliantly. That I said to Peroty earlier, I was running around shooting the barrier champions, thinking that I had a job and I was doing ad clear as well, but like. They were burning down tormentors. We had like 45 seconds on these tormentors, and the scions were being taken care of. The run was being taken care of. I literally kind of just sat back in awe, shooting things, going, well, I didn't need to do a thunder crash. I didn't need a 4th horseman. I didn't need a sword to kind of take out these tormentors. They would
4th horseman? My lord, dude.
Well, that's what happened when we were playing. Is that I was thinking nobody's listening to the call out that the tormentor needs to be taken down. So what can I put on that's going to burn it?
No, hold on. No. All right, I'm gonna stand up for everybody. Okay, so we did a raid on
Wednesday.
One of these days,
Wednesday we tried.
Yeah, early Wednesday.
And for a raid that we don't work well together off the bat.
Don't say
but
that.
We also had people that didn't know the raid. But despite that, we ended up getting to the end of the first encounter multiple times, and I don't quite know what happened at the end.
But can I say it was more like headless chickens? See, there you go. But
even a stopped clock can be right twice a day, and we were the stopped clock.
Yes, but no, this is what I'm saying with this LFG group, and I think it did help that 3 or 4 of them knew each other, and they'd done the raid, and they were just kind of bringing other people through, and they just needed people to kind of fill that void of like the extra spaces, just to do a bit of ad clear or something.
Meat shields.
Yeah, meat shields and things. But it was really nice and fluid, and you could see how it was working. And we got our loot, moved on to the next section. Somebody kind of DC'd, and we ended up doing the Cision part with 5 of us. Now, I drew the short straw of being the solo player on one side, whereas the other side had 2 players doing ad clear. And I actually got a round of applause at the end. So they were like really happy with the MVP of clearing one side each time. So that was quite cool. We managed to get through that. That sounded like it was panic because one guy was doing one side of doing the light and the dark nodes and jumping across. I didn't see what was going on apart from I knew I had to be in the white area when I needed to take down the big cabal with the white shield on him. So I was kind of making sure that I knew where this guy was when he was coming across, getting in that, sorting that out. And then I said to Peroty, it then kind of we ran through, got the hidden chest, got to the next section, which was the planets. And that's when Destiny decided to do Destiny things. And we were waiting for this other player to come back or find another player. And it was only like 5 or 10 minutes. And one of the guys came in the chat and he went, I've just been disconnected. And it came up on my screen, you are now the host. And I was like, oh no, don't make me the host, joking. And then I got disconnected. But I wasn't in their Discord. And I had no way of finding them to get back to them. And I was saying to Peroty, this is an issue with that Fireteam Finder. You can be in a Fireteam, you can be chatting away, you can be talking away, but unless you kind of friend somebody, and these guys were on PC, they were on PlayStation, so it was a mixed bag. It wasn't somebody that I could friend on Xbox. So yeah, my run ended at Planets, but I feel that we would have just gone all the way through and it would have been really smooth, really good fun, and really good learning experience for me anyway.
Sounds like you had a good group, yeah.
But the issue with the Fireteam Finder is that I couldn't find the Fireteam. And now I thought, the app, I will go on the app and see, games recently played because I've been with them for maybe half an hour now. Surely on the app, it would say, you've played this X amount of games today. And I played like a couple of Crucible games and things. No, it only showed me the day before's stuff that I'd done. And I was like, this is so hard. Just, I've now lost a good team and people that were willing to show somebody new going through it how to do it because I couldn't reconnect to them. So yeah, that's
well, that's a sad band if I've ever heard it.
That was my sad. It was good and bad. So there's your feedback, Bungie. You need to do something about having to kind of maybe being able to reconnect or see who you recently played with, a bit like you do with Crucible. If you push, is it up or down on the D-pad on like controller, you can see your previous game and you can see the list of people that you played with or played against. And there's got to be something there so that if you do get disconnected and you're not already in a party chat, you're just in kind of regular game chat with people because of being on different platforms, then there's got to be a way of kind of getting back together if they want to get back together, basically. But, I knew that I hadn't been kicked because I was actually the host of the game at that point. So it wasn't like I was being kicked. Yeah.
Well, that is an experience, and it does sound like something Bungie should be addressing.
Yeah.
Because that sounds sad when you lose your friends.
It was. And I'm going to give it another go. I'm going to, hopefully, maybe not next week because it's half term and the kids are off and we've got loads of stuff planned. But maybe like after that, again, try it solo and see if I can kind of find a team. Maybe do an even older raid, a bit like the Last Wish, like I was saying. Maybe go through that, get my red borders so that I don't have to use my wish tokens on that. And then maybe like a couple of times after that, grab a couple of you guys and we'll see if we can all go through it and see how Fireteam Finder kind of helps fill out the group. Because I did look at it. There's not that many kind of explanations of I don't think you can write on there specific things like if you want to have, you need kind of specific help in certain areas. You can ask, help wanted as a kind of hashtag kind of thing, but there's no, the Xbox, like game finder thing is a little bit more, you can actually type in and say a lot more things. Maybe I wasn't looking in the right place for creating a game, but at that point I was just looking to find a fire team, wasn't looking to kind of create. I just kind of had a quick look, but it may be there. I don't know if you guys have had a look or not.
No, I haven't been in the Fireteam Finder.
Yeah, I looked at it just like, again, from the searching perspective. I pulled it up like this morning while we were playing Gambit with three of us just to say, is anybody looking for Gambit fire teams? And no, not a single entry under Gambit at all, which didn't surprise me. But I was like, just out of curiosity. And again, I know it's raids, dungeons, trials, things that people need bigger groups for sure. So like I poked around with it a little bit. I've just sort of like been looking to see what's there, but haven't really tried it out in earnest to say I want to go do this activity and let's see how this goes. But yeah, that's always the problem with LFG, and that's one nice thing about like the 100.io and stuff is there was an external place to go to at least know is anybody looking at it once you get started? Who knows? But at least it would have given you potential out to message the group there and go, hey, I've gotten kicked, or look up their names to say, hey, I've gotten I've got it booted or got disconnected. I'll try to make my way back. Whereas in game it's sort of unless you're add them to a friends list or something or can find them in the recently played. But yeah, if they're all on different PlayStation and PC, they're not going to show up in the here's who you were with recently on Xbox necessarily. So that's frustrating. It's great when you find those good groups and just it's like you always know something's going to go wrong. This is all going too well. What's going to happen?
Yeah,
that's a negative way to look at it, my dude.
Well, I've had enough experiences where things started out really well and then somebody has to go or gets disconnected or just vanishes into the ether and it falls apart from there.
No, don't get me wrong. I didn't say it was wrong. I just said it was negative.
Ripped from the headlines based on true stories.
Right.
Well, I've watched actually, before we do videos, there was a little update this week which I almost forgot about. 7.3.4.1, which for seasonal activities patched they reduced the completion criteria for the rolled stats seasonal triumph. In the coil, they increased the wishing glass shards drop rate from enemies defeated in the coil, so you should be able to get the platinum rating better. Yeah, the glass collectors, and also get more platinums just to get more loot out of it when you run it. They've once again allegedly fixed the glass wall in the Star-Crossed Exotic mission, where players could do boss damage through the glass wall. Is it really fixed? Who really knows? Maybe they fixed it this time, maybe not. Fixed an issue where the blast radius would grant armor charge on non-enemy takedowns. For weapons, they fixed the issue where all of our rear-loading rocket launchers should now be correctly appearing in the inspection screen. So all those rocket launchers that we weren't seeing in the collections should now be there.
Okay.
Hopefully.
That's
Maybe,
good.
Allegedly. Those Dreaming City weapons that weren't progressing your Dreaming City badge, that's been fixed now. So your newly acquired weapons will now actually work toward that badge. And finally, Twitch bounties may erroneously indicate that a reward has been claimed when none is actually available. So Twitch was lying to you and it shouldn't be. So nothing
Twitch
massive.
is always lying to you.
Yeah, so nothing massive, but that was our brief update for this week. And now I'll say I've watched a couple of videos, but not a lot this week, Destiny wise. Nitedemon, have you seen much?
Well,
It's
what I
worth
want to
sharing
kind
with
of
people?
point people in the direction of is the video that Ebontis did this week, going over the Ascendant chest locations, because stupidly enough, I when I read the wish quest for this week, I thought it was Ascendant chest that you had to go into the Ascendant realm to go and do the Ascendant challenge to get the chest. Turns out they don't even count, even though technically I'm sure that's an Ascendant chest. These are the hidden chests that you have to have the tincture on to kind of know where they are in the Dreaming City to go and find them. And I remembered where two of them were, because after I'd done the Ascendant challenge, one was kind of there outside the portal. I was like, oh, that's an Ascendant chest, definitely. And then I thought, oh, there's one in one of the Lost sectors. I think it was Chamber of Starlight. I was like, I know where that one is. I'll go and get that one. But yeah, I was just like, oh, I can't remember them off the top of my head. But Buntis has got you a video showing you all the locations, which is pretty cool.
There you go.
You know, which is funny. I did the exact same thing because I was thinking, oh, I have to go into those stupid Ascendant challenges and get that done.
Isn't it the way that it's worded?
Oh.
If they just said hidden chests that are in the Dreaming City, but you need to have a tincture for, not Ascendant chest. I mean, I understand that they are probably Ascendant chests, but it was like for layman's terms, for like, I mean, I'm a veteran player, but I still thought it was go do the Ascendant challenge to get an Ascendant chest.
Right. It's like, aren't those all Ascendant chests? What are the other ones called, if not that? But yeah, so while I was happy I didn't have to go into those dumb things, I think I actually initially found Houndish's video because he did like a weekly update. And was basically like, hey, I'm going to show you the chest locations from when I did this, 18 years ago because they haven't changed. And then I watched his video, but then I actually, when I sat down to do it, I just searched it again because I was like, there's 1,001. So, my buddy Esoteric and I ran through it. He's like, here are the locations, knock these out. Took almost no time. So got that done. One week closer to my Apex Predator.
You don't need one. We're going to go do some raids.
Well, until that happens, I mean, again, there's a Chattering Bone I could get. There's an Age-Old Bond. I've got options. I've got more things I could get until everyone shouted at me to go get the Apex Predator. So I'm just doing as I was shouted at.
Okay.
Also, Noble would like us to drag him through trials to get all the trials loot Nitedemon. So one of these weeks we're gonna have to get up early and drag Noble through trials.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Carry him into game completion.
Have you seen the show? Have you played?
Yeah.
What? I mean, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I've been collecting my Belisariuses this week on the Warlock, playing competitive. So, not to say I'm getting much better. I'm sitting here in the Silver Division with the other Silver Division people, but I'm getting the weapon I wanted out of it, which is the entire point.
I've never even placed. I'm gonna be honest with you. Well, not that I'm aware of, not intentionally.
I hadn't until this like the last couple weeks. I hadn't done my 7 placement matches or whatever, which is good because I picked a good time because they removed the extra quests and all this stuff. So see, I picked the good time to start. Here's a bunch of extra stuff nobody wanted to do. Was there anything else you had video wise, Nitedemon, or is that it for the week?
There was one. Where is it? I'm trying to find.
Yeah, the only one I had was it was Astrocross did one. PSA, your finishers matter, subclass synergy. Just that some of the Synagers, some of the finishers have a synergy with your subclass. So some of them can proc some of the subclass effects. will count as this or that? Yes. Why I watched the video, because I was like, I had no idea that was a thing. So yeah, if you're like, what is this nonsense all about? Azercross has you covered. Yeah, and then I watched a smattering of lore videos, and yeah, Tiger Spite being good, and nothing terribly. Like, I've watched a few things, but nothing that I really point to and go, you should absolutely check this out.
Well, I mean, I like the Tiger Spite one. You know, it's a really good role for the Tiger Spite. I've always liked the Tiger Spite in general because it's got a really good sight, and it's always been like really stable and really reliable. And now that it's got kinetic tremors on it and feeding frenzy, dude. I mean, it's good.
Kinetic tremors, overflow, and I've got one that's demolitionist overflow that I've been having good fun with.
You love that overflow, dude.
I think I put that finisher one in a couple of weeks ago, but we can put it in again. It doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah, I did. I didn't.
That old? Wow.
Yeah, I didn't look to see when it was. I was like,
it was a very interesting one because you can. I think you can build that into your subclass with like if you're a Radiant, you can kind of if it's a specific kind of finisher, you can do a finisher and get Radiant by doing that, and just keep it going by doing finishers rather than doing other stuff. But it leans into it, so it's pretty cool. The other video that I found, which is for Riven's Wishes Part 5 in a couple of weeks, is that secret boss that we were kind of looking for, Parik the Farseer or something. Profane Gaming about 10 days ago, so it was before last week, before we kind of knew all the list of the wishes, actually had a video, and I found it again, so I will link that in the show notes, how to summon the secret Dreaming City boss and defeating it. So there you go. And it's specific for the Season of the Wish stuff.
Well, good. In case they had changed something. Have they? Yeah. Who knows?
I did start watching the Matix video that he's done recently, which was a Voidwalker with, I think it was the gloves that poison and the Osmiomancy. Is it the Osmiomancy gloves?
Necrotic grips, the poison ones?
Necrotic grips with the Osteostraga. So I'm watching that, but I don't know how it's going to turn out and how the build goes. But he's made a video on it, so it must be good.
Yeah. I've got a watch later list filled with things I want to watch later, but I haven't gotten to them yet.
I was gonna say,
I'm going. I've got a whole list of things I'd like to check out, but I just haven't had the chance to do it yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to the part in the season which is nice that you can kind of look at the build videos and go, you know what, I'm going to try and take that through a Grandmaster, or I'm going to try and take that in Crucible. So it's really nice. I mean, I know some of them kind of came out 2 or 3 weeks ago, but it's nice to go back to those and go, what can I do fun in Destiny now? You know, if I'm not chasing titles, if I've done everything that I want to kind of do, and I love playing the game, then let's have a look at some of these builds, see if I can put them together and go and play as best I can, because some of the things you might not necessarily have if you're a new player, but it could be something kind of to look towards building into or get into a playstyle, which is quite nice. So yeah,
that's.
I'm still a big fan of Strand and Solar this season for the Hunter. Those builds are so synergistic and just so good. I mean, for example, the raid. That's started the whole conversation earlier. Is the raid? You're talking about how you needed the fourth horseman. Not me. I came up, and every time a Tormentor spawned almost, I already had my Blade Barrage back up. So I'd sling the Blade Barrage, follow up with a Dragon's Breath, and then he was done. It was game over, and I move on to the next one. So yeah, dude, just heavy might become a problem. It didn't, because, I had heavy everywhere, but, other than that, having the Blade Barrage up almost every time you're dealing with a Tormentor is kind of amazing.
Also, can I just add that if anybody has contacted Respawn to do a raid at some point and he says yes, he will do the raid with you, just double check with him what time zone he's in and what time it's going to be when you call him, because it may be 3 o'clock in the morning and you're not aware that it's 3 o'clock in the morning when you're ringing him, but he's agreed to do it, so it's his own fault. So yeah.
And I got up. I got up. I set my alarm at 6, and I didn't know you'd already been playing for.
Well, we played and we waited. We were like, well, I'm sure we put the time in the chat, but obviously he ignored that.
I still didn't see the time. I went back and I looked. I still didn't see
Everybody else saw the time and showed up on time. We were just like, where's Respawn?
I'm not saying they didn't. No, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, if anybody has contacted you, like, any of the other listeners or anybody in the Discord or Patreons that, Respawn, come and help me. Just double and triple check the times that you're kind of confirming and what time zone he's going to be in.
because Respawn will agree without
without even
you the time zone.
Point in case the show today, really.
Agree first, figure out times later.
Today, I was here today on time. I just I had.
Were you on time?
To deal with the laptop.
Were you on time, or did me and Peroty spend an hour talking about stuff?
Hey, I was up 30 minutes ahead of time. I was like, it's in 20 minutes, right? And you're like, yeah. I'm like, all right, cool. And then I got on. I had to deal with laptop stuff, but I was here. I was ready.
No, but that was about
the laptop.
That was an hour later.
Yes.
The laptop is an extension of you.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
no, the laptop is an extension of Microsoft.
Well, that's a terrible idea. You shouldn't do that. Yeah. That's how I learned this week, because I'll stick another video that I lost it for a minute. Kuzco, Coozco has put together this precious scar build has infinite unravel, and I'm like, I would like to unravel things as a Titan. That sounds like good fun. And that's when I learned I had deleted the precious scars exotic helmet that I had with a decent roll on it. So I was like, oh, guess I need to go find another one now. But it looks like good fun. It's, the Precious Scars gives you a burst of healing when you get kills with basically things that match your subclass. So run around as Strand, punch things, throw things, hit things, get your healing, get your Banner of War going, and it's all good fun.
Cool.
I don't know if he uses the Banner of War, but yeah, it's just, jump in there, hit people, and get lots of healing. Which looked like fun that I couldn't build out because I was missing an important piece of it.
The whole point of a build is for you to have all the pieces.
You had one job.
I did listen to the Massive Breakdowns Players versus Enemies podcast this week, because they broke down how to do the Psyops Cosmodrome Battleground, whatever the Psyops Cosmodrome, not the Grandmaster. And what I found quite interesting in that, and I will link it in the show notes, was how they they do have their builds listed in their Discord, but they do go over it in the show. Of that they use Polaris Lance, and I've seen a couple of videos this season where Polaris Lance is doing very, very good if you can constantly proc the precision damage on it, and you can get radiance from it, which then stuns champions or specific champions, which is quite nice. Yep. So yeah, have a listen to that, because that's definitely something I want to try and drag Peroty and maybe Respawn into this, and maybe and do the Psyops Cosmodrome as a Grandmaster, because sounds pretty fun.
Yeah,
but that also feeds into the whole. I don't use the Polaris Lance just because I like hip firing a lot.
Yeah,
but I use the Amet AR4.
Yeah, the auto rifle. Yeah,
because this season, just tagging somebody with solar damage makes you radiant, right? So tagging them a bunch with that makes me radiant, gets me abilities back faster, shenanigans occur. Fun is happening, right? But the Polaris Lance on its own does a lot of destructive damage, and it will feed into getting your solar super back on the hunter even faster. So, and I say solar super because it works for the golden gun and the blade barrage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other weapon that I completely forgot about it, but other people may have kind of remembered, the Wave Splitter Trace Rifle is a must if you're going up against the Hive Lucent champions, because sustained fire mode suppresses targets, and it suppresses those like Hive Lucent champions out of their supers. Mm-hmm. You only have to fire it, have sustained damage on them for 2 seconds, and it suppresses them for 7 seconds. And you can keep doing that. So they were running the Wave Splitter, the Polaris Lance, and I think there was maybe a Wish Ender in there or something else exotic.
You can't have both.
No, different team members running.
Gotcha.
This is what I'm saying, that it was quite a good synergy of a team that they pre-thought out what they were going to go in there with and what their loadouts were. So yeah, Wave Splitter was pretty cool.
It's also it is the go-to weapon for the Hunter Infinite Everything build, where you're infinitely invis, you're infinitely weakening, you're infinitely devouring.
Yeah,
that is one of the main pieces to that build to keep you just invincible and invisible at all times.
Well, they had one guy that was generating orb after orb after orb, and then if you collect the orb with the Wave Splitter, it grants a period of maximum power that starts with an automatic reload as well. So it automatically reloads your weapon, and it goes to the maximum of damage for the Wave Splitter Trace Rifle. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Okay.
Keep picking up the orbs, and it just kind of gives you like max damage and suppression.
It's a good time, man.
It
It's
is.
a good time. It's
Sounds
one of my
good.
go-to builds.
It's a good time to thank some Patreons.
It
And
really is.
People that put up with us and make us do the show every week for them.
They do.
Yep.
They're sitting there holding weapons on us right now. Who can't be threatened with a good time? Zep Orbit. Cannot be threatened with a good time. Believe me, we've tried. The Outer Dance Troupe of the T-Rex King Scarlet KM, BHS Nightcrawler Melomelian Diditato M64, dancing. And why are they dancing? Well, as we discussed, they're not dancing. They're dodging because there's grenades coming in. Because Carter's 2782, Golden God 1562, We Noble, basically Salt, Zombie Pops, Renard Calant, Fire Squad 1688, and Coders in 105 are supplying those grenades. So dancing, dodging, I'll let you be the judge. Deacon's Day 1 Raid Team, as always, Dimwee, Gravy Jeff, and PP Pipe, holding down the fort. And we're holding down the fort each and every week. Until next week, thank you for joining us. Your Titans have been Peroty and Nitedemon. Your Hunter is no one response in real life. You can find this show wherever you get your podcasts. You can find all the live things, new episodes, weekly update videos, what you should buy from Shada One, what's happening next week, what the rotations are on YouTube. Go there, search Two Titans and a Hunter. You will find us, I guarantee. You can email the show at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com or just hit twotitansandahunter.com for the show and all the lovely show notes, all the videos we talk about, all the links we mentioned. They're all there in the show notes. And if you'd like to join our lovely patrons, patreon.com/TTAH. Or if you're looking for more casual encounter, coffee.com. That's ko-fi.com/twotitansandahunter. And if you want a live version of this show and see just how poorly we read, twitch.tv/no-one-responds in real life, when he is in a place with a proper time zone and proper bandwidth. And if you want to see early morning raiding, trials failing, and who really knows what you're going to get up to, twitch.tv/twotitansandahunter. Go there, hit the subscribe, hit the bell, and you'll know when we go live. And then you can be impressed or deeply disappointed with what we get up to. And with that, gents, tell the people goodbye. Until next time.
Tara.
Deuces.
Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast.
And Noble, even if you're going to be gone for a bit, we'll probably be here when you get back because I am contractually held against my will to be a part of the show, regardless of how long it goes on. So, yeah have fun with your kid and do what you need to do, and then we'll welcome you back with open arms and open lips whenever you get back.
Destiny will die, and we will continue. We'll start back at the beginning. We can start talking about Destiny 1, Week 1, or even pre-Destiny, and then just work our way back over the next 10 years again.
Mm-hmm.
So we could just be never ending.
Yeah, just run on a loop. Run it back. It'll be fine. No one will notice.
No.
The sad part is you're probably right.
No, I'm not right. I'm just... It's going to happen.
No, I mean, the no one will notice thing is what I was referring to.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so deuces to everybody, everything, everywhere. I'm out!